What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles.com, and I am loving these really cool classic, like the beginning of the sport bike era motorcycles, and to really see where we come from. This is a 1980 Suzuki GS750. 16 valves per cylinder, no, 16 valves per motor, 4 valves per cylinder. It had rear disc brakes. That was insane. That was a big deal. Cars didn't even have rear disc brakes until, I guess, the 80s. I guess at the same time. Duals up in the front. This is a lot of cool things about this bike that you might recognize that we currently have. Starts up like a champ. Check it out. A gear position indicator. It has little digits. It tells us what gear we're in. How cool is that? Watch this. Bam, second gear. They were doing that in the 80s. I had no idea. I mean, I knew that, like, the 2006, no, the 2000, I think, like, the earlier, like, I think the generation before my track bike, I don't think that even had a gear indicator. Some sport bikes even now still don't have gear indicators, but this one did, and it's amazing. Super comfortable seat. When this thing came out, it was pretty it was definitely a big deal. It's pretty revolutionary. It was not, it's missing some features that the sport bikes today have. Like, this is still an air-cooled motor. This is a 700, I don't know exactly, 748 cc engine, but it's air-cooled. Man, this is a fun bike to ride. This thing can actually do the quarter mile in a mid to slow 12 seconds. How awesome is that? That inline 4 is incredibly smooth. I think for first bikes, for entry-level bikes for people, I love these bikes because you can drop them and you get to learn how to ride, and sometimes you learn how to walk a bike home a couple miles because you run out of gas, and you just really learn the basics and the, you know, just motorcycle ride. You get to learn, it's like you get to learn the history of motorcycle riding and experience it all at the same time. And then you get to see, like, oh, that's why we do that, or that's a thing, or this is a great. I don't know when sport bikes really started to change. I kind of wish I was around during, like, during these days, and I could have been that guy who's like, oh, I saw these things in the store when they were selling brand new, but I'm not that old. I was not around in 1980. But so I know there's a lot of guys who just know way more about these bikes, and they know, and I'd love to hear more about it. But this is a fun, very comfortable. I mean, these handlebars are, oh, I think the idle's a little low. The handlebars are so comfortable. Like, I can see, there's so many fun things I can see myself doing with this bike. Oh, here's another thing. Here's another thing that they have not quite figured out yet. Those are pretty big. That looks like a pretty big looking front tire on the front. I think within the next decade, they start going with 16s or 17s in the front and the back for better performance. That's a pretty big looking tire. I was thinking maybe I could put some, like, cool really, you know, like pilot power, 2 CTs on there. I don't know if they fit on that giant rim. This would be a fun bike. You can take this thing to the Dragon, drag some knee. I could also see myself just doing a big trip on it. Because I mean, it is really comfortable. Like, this is the perfect motorcycle stance. So, and the seat, man, the seat is just ridiculous. We've gone away from this. It's all about looks now. But when you have a seat like this, it's so comfortable. It is literally 3 feet of padding. Oh man, I forgot my bobber verse. Alright guys, I forgot. Where's the wisdom? John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Amen. Yesterday was Father's Day. That's exciting. Part of me wants to keep this bike around. I mean, a lot of times I kind of like snub my nose at these older bikes because, you know, I mean, we're modern day guys and we're like, hey, they got newer bikes now, you know what I mean? You don't need that. But when they run good and they're tuned right, there's no difference. This is the same thing. This is the exact same thing that I'm doing with a newer bike. It fires up good. I pull that throttle and it goes. It sounds great. I like the stock exhaust. I can actually hear the engine a little bit higher than the engine's almost louder than the exhaust at some RPMs. I mean, you could go back in time. You can be, when you ride an older bike like this, now I think it's different when you ride like a 1920s bike, you know, or a bike that you gotta let it warm up for 20 minutes. That's kind of a different story. But a bike like this, man, this is riding. This is what, the same thing that the same feeling that a guy was getting in 1980, maybe even your dad, maybe even your grandpa in 1980 when he's like, I bought me a brand new GS750, and you're just like, shut up, old man, you don't know what I feel, you don't know what it's like. He knows what it's like. He's experiencing the same thing. He's on the open road, wind in his chest, trying to go faster than the next guy, trying to get a little lower than the guy behind him, you know? It kind of, I ride bikes like this, and I don't feel like the gap is getting wider between me and older riders and guys who've been riding for a long time. I feel like the gap is getting shorter, and it's like, hey man, we're the same. Humankind is getting a little bit, I ride a bike like this, and somehow humankind, world's getting a little bit smaller. I don't know how that is. It's a great bike. I'm not gonna lie, a very real part of me is like, you know what, Sean, just keep this bike. Just don't even sell it. Because it's awesome. Look, if I wanted to, I mean, it goes through all the gears good, the clutch feels good. I gotta turn the idle up a little bit. But if you're on a trip and you're like, you know what, I want a different leg position, just throw your feet up on this, looks like the stator cover, and this is where the gear is, where the starter gear is. Just look, I'm basically riding a Harley Davidson right now. Look at this. I could see myself taking, like this should be my go-to bike now. I'm taking it offline. This is my go-to bike. I love this motorcycle. I'm planning a trip down to Charlotte. I told my buddy, he was like, hey, I'm thinking about moving, and I'm like, yo, if you move, I'll come down and help you out. I didn't think he was gonna do it. No, I'm kidding. I didn't know. I didn't think he was, but I'm looking for an excuse to go down there and see him. And maybe this is the bike I take. Just classic. 1,400 miles in like 2 days on a Suzuki GS750. That'd be sweet. I get some like old school like jacket. Get me, man, I love this bike. I gotta figure out a way to put some real nice sticky modern day tires on this thing, so I feel real comfortable just like shredding them corners. Alright guys, that wraps it up. Man, this has been I should have rode this yesterday. I went for a ride with my pops yesterday and I was like, looking at these bikes, and I'm like, it looks too old. But I haven't actually ridden it yet. Alright guys, that wraps it up. We'll see you guys later. This is Sean. Don't forget, two things. One, it's not what you're riding, but where you, what am I saying? What's that thing? It's not what you're riding, but where you're going. And two, if you guys looking at transporting your motorcycles, you break down or you got a trailer at some place or whatever, track days, whatever, use the tie-down straps that we use. They are the best tank straps. And actually, the guys from Nitro Circus are using them now also, and we're pumped about it. We'll see you guys later, guys. What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles, and thanks for watching the video. Click here to subscribe. Click here to see more content. And as always, check out the description box to see our latest inventory and our killer deals, to see how to win a free motorcycle, and also to see our latest bikes and beards gear. We'll see you guys later. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going.